Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I didn't realize that my camera is off. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Welcome to the 48th online meeting of All Elite Advanced Toastmasters Club. I'm Toastmaster Girija Deshpande, and I'm pleased to be your sergeant at arms for today's meeting. On the online meeting environment, there are a few housekeeping policies that we request everyone to follow. All Toastmasters, please, you can prefix yourself with the roles that you're doing so that it becomes easier. Switch off phones and any noise-making devices and remove any other distraction around you. Please take 10 seconds to do so. Please keep your audio on mute throughout the meeting and unmute your microphone just whenever you are invited to speak. Please keep your video camera on as a mark of respect to speakers, just as you would be present in a physical meeting so that the speaker can see your face and you don't disappear from there. Please remember to switch off your video camera when you need to step away in order to avoid distractions for others. Please avoid unnecessary movements or sipping on drinks or eating if your video is on. Please turn off the video in case you need to do so. All speakers are required to verify if you are audible and visible before you start your speech. Please refrain from typing in the general chat box when a speaker is speaking, as it disturbs the speaker. Please use the chat to provide feedback directly to the speaker after speech is over. Do not click on the share screen unless your speech or role requires you to do so, and please share screen after informing that you're sharing your screen with the permission of the chair. You can choose and display from the reactions a high five or a namaste or applause when a speaker joins or leaves. You're welcome to do so. If you're a speaker, then please ensure that you pin the timer and confirm that the timer screen is visible to you. This meeting is being recorded. You can network during the break or after the meeting. I'm very happy to share the mission of Toastmasters Club. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a supporting and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Your cooperation will help us provide that. Thank you. And today, I'm also the presiding officer. I'm happy to introduce myself. I'm Toastmaster Girija Deshpande, President of esteemed Eloquent Elite Advanced Toastmasters Club. I'm also a blogger, writer, leadership coach, HR consultant. I'm very happy to be the Toastmaster of the day also. As presiding officer, I declare the meeting open. I'm happy to welcome you all to the 48th meeting of the club. VP Education Phalgunan Kumaran, can we please confirm if there are any changes in the agenda, except that we start the meeting at 7:15, which was already declared before the meeting started. So all the role players are in, so may we consider that we can propose the motion and second the motion, please?
Yes, we can. We just not share the physical or the complete agenda. We share in the WhatsApp the role players list.
Yes, I have seen the role players list, so we'll consider that it is passed.
Someone in the presentation device, is it any member or it's Kunal? Okay,
it's
fine.
Kunal. So I declare the agenda passed and we move ahead with the meeting. I'm happy to be the Toastmaster of the day. The theme of the day is March Madness. The term March Madness is associated with basketball. March Madness was originally a high school basketball tournament in Illinois. The only major sport strictly of US origin, basketball was invented by James Naismith on or about December 1st, 1891 at the International Young Men's Christian Association Training School, that is now Springfield College, Springfield, Massachusetts, where Naismith was an instructor. He is a Canadian instructor working in US. He was an instructor in physical education. So basketball was introduced later in France in 1893, in England in 1894, in Australia, China, and India soon thereafter, and in Japan in 1900s. With that, we will start with our table topic session, and I invite the table topics master, Kunal Jani, to take over the table topic session. Over to you, Kunal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Girija, and a very good evening to all of you present here. So today we start with the table topic session, which with the fact that I didn't know that basketball was a strict American origin. That's nice to know. And today I have prepared some topics related to sports, not just basketball. So let's have ideas, the topics. Let's have the topics and let's have some ideas from the eloquent members of All Elite Advanced, as mentioned by Girija. So let me share my presentation screen. Just a moment. Can you see the screen? Yes.
It's beautiful.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So let me just show you an idea of what we have today. We have 6 topics and we have 6 balls of different sports that we represent. We can have different people choose each other like last time, or we will just go by the normal way of where I choose a person. I will not let any volunteers. I will choose a person, and I will also choose the evaluator after the person speaks, so that everyone is listening and being attentive. Yes. So let me start by seeing who will go first. Okay, Ita, let's go with you first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Choose the ball. I would go with the much easier one, hopefully the red one on the left bottom, cricket ball. Hopefully that is.
Let's see. Toastmaster Sita, is it the daily apple or the daily exercise that keeps the doctor away in this modern age that hardly requires the movement of muscles? Toastmaster Sita.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away. We've all heard it when we were all in the schools. Is it something that we continue to imbibe in us? That's a tricky question, isn't it? I can say the same thing to my kids. Do they really listen? Did I really listen when I was instructed by my parents and well-wishers to consume an apple a day to keep myself healthy? No. I think it's important for us to really look at all these key aspects governing our health. And definitely we should look at how these could really make those changes in our lifestyle. I really like apple, definitely something which I look forward to. But do I really get an apple every single day? No. What do I do to compensate to keep myself healthy? I do some physical exercises, yoga more so. One good thing about the apple that I like is that it is so delicious. You can hold it in your hand. It can serve as a breakfast for all of us. You just munch an apple and that's pretty much, it's all done. I think it's important to, in this era, we need to do a kind of a balance between having an apple, at the same time maintaining our physical fitness. Both of them together is what I would see, which will help us to lead a healthy life. Thank you. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you so much, Sita, for that wonderful speech. And now we shall have Arvind evaluate your table topic speech. Arvind.
Thank you. Sita, you began well, repeating the topic, and see, it's just some old saying that goes an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and very clearly said that we don't really have to munch the apple. But yes, I think, since this was something to do more with physical activity and stuff like that, and you also had chosen the season ball, you could have brought in that activity, because if you are a cricket enthusiast, because you chose that ball, you could have brought that something to do with running and stuff like that, rather than just frivolously speaking or anything that about parents and stuff like that. You could have brought that in and say, and he's asking you a question about today's generation and now, so you could have related, because now the IPL is going on and could have brought that in. That's what I thought. But nevertheless, it's always a good attempt. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Arvind. That was a nice take. Yes, indeed. There are many things happening these days that not only the apple, but many other things can help us keep healthy. Yes, it was just a moment for me to share my screen. So, who will be the next one? Girija, let's have you take the next topic.
Yeah, sure. I would like to go with the top one, white and black, the football.
Yes, the football. Let's go with football. Girija, not only being a Toastmaster, being a sports person can also help develop leadership and communication skills. Not only being a Toastmaster, being a sports person also can help develop leadership and communication skills. Girija.
Thank you for the topic, Kunal. It is not only being a Toastmaster, but also being a sports person develops leadership skills. What are leadership skills? Leadership is not something that is given to you in a platter. Leadership is an ownership, a responsibility that you take up in all spheres of life. Whether you are a homemaker, whether you are a sibling, whether you are a teacher, you see people emerging as leaders in certain circumstances when they look so very humble and nobody has assigned them that role as leader. So leadership is all about bringing people together. Leadership is all about ownership. So you find that a very simple girl in a family sometimes looks so quiet, but she's the person who is keeping everybody together. In times of stress, people will ask her for opinion. They'll ask her for suggestion. They will ask her, okay, so and so is not talking to me. Can you find out what is happening? So this person bonds the family together, keeps the family together, motivates when somebody is down, even though everything is done from behind. Other people do not even realize that this person is emerging as a leader. Slowly it happens. It is a very natural, organic process. So in leadership also, in sportsmanship also is like that, where nobody gives you a leadership role in the beginning. You become a sports person. While you're playing, you begin to learn that success and failure are both part of the game. And you begin to take it with equanimity. You don't become proud when you become successful. You don't lose your confidence when you fail, but you retain your equanimity. And when there are team members who perform well, you support them. And there are team members who don't perform well, and still you support them and try to find out with empathy what is it that is not working for them and see what you can do to make the environment nurturing and helping. That is what Toastmasters does. We know that in Toastmasters also, there are members who are excellent performers, but there are certain times when their performance plummets, their participation plummets. So what we do is try to keep their morale high, talk to them one-on-one. That's what we do. So these things, Toastmasters, that doesn't put as a rule, but we do it. Thank you so much. Over to you, Kunal.
Thank you so much, Girija, for your wonderful speech. Yes, Arvind's cups, and just before 1 minute before that, I realized that we don't have a timer displaying the timing signals, as well as we forgot about the language evaluators word of the day. So, Arvind, can you manage with the timing? But okay, for who else? Maybe I can.
Language evaluator is actually Jay. So
Yes,
Jay can give the word of the day.
Jay has already posted his word on the chat. So yeah, audacious. Thank you, Jay, for that. And so who will take care of the timing?
I'll take care of the time.
Are you sure, Arvind? Phalgunan? Or you want me to try? Yes, I think.
What happened?
Are you okay with the role of timer?
Yeah, I'm fine. But only when
Yeah.
I'm giving the speech, someone will have to do that.
Sure, I will manage that. Sure, no worries. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Phalgunan. And to evaluate Girija's speech, I will ask the language evaluator Jai to come on the stage.
Sure, thank you. So here the topic was not only the Toastmaster, even the sportsmanship that can also help us in our leadership skill. In my opinion, she could take an example how any incident or event happened and how she has helped or someone has helped her to come out of that situation. It could be a good, it could be a bad, or it could be a small analysis of the same situation. Example, we won a match after defeating the opponent. What's the analysis? How the analysis happened? Similar to our leadership skill. Or might be some relation, emotional relation, connect with the people. We have to understand different mindset. So that she could bring. So that could help. Thank you.
Yes, so yes, indeed, sports has many dynamics to it, and being a leader is one of it. Being a team player is also one of it. So yes, it can definitely help us in improving our particular skills that we also look for in Toastmasters. So let's go to the next topic. And for this, I would like to have Arvind. Let's go with you now. Which ball would you like to choose to play with today?
I'd like to go with the golf ball.
Perfect. The gentleman's sport. Arvind, would you enjoy being a sports superstar? Would you enjoy being a sports superstar? Arvind.
Thank you for the topic. They say as you age, you play with the size of the balls you play with decreases. And I think being a superstar and with a golf, because that's supposed to be the lazy man's sport, and you feel there isn't much activity going on. But yes, let's take Tiger Woods. It's great to be a superstar. He's somebody, if I look at somebody, then it would be for all the good things that he has done and brought glory to the game. The golf ball is something that I would always look at. A great game that is played. And yes, it can lead you to be a superstar, provided you put in all the efforts and be positive in doing the job well. Play with all fairness and be humble as you go about going up the ladder. And only then can you think, yes, you would love to be a superstar. Over to you, Kunal.
Thank you so much, Arvind. And let's have Seetha evaluate your speech. Let's go the vice other way. Seetha, over to you.
Brilliant start in terms of looking at aged people play with balls which decrease in size. Really liked it. I think you did touch upon the nuances of the theme or the topic and related it to golf. What I would have liked a little bit more, example of Tiger Woods was good. Maybe some of those shots in golf that we play, right, which will cover the aspect around leadership. The milestone might be too far away initially, and that swing that you initially, you need to have will take it very closer to it. And then when it is so close, but still it might look far away, just that small little putt is what is required so that the ball glances through and gets in. And that's where we really look at a complete leadership. Maybe some elements, subtleties is what I would have also liked to have. Otherwise, a fantastic speech. Back to you, table topic master.
Great evaluation. And now one last topic we can take, maybe given the timeline, but we have a guest among us. Amit, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Would you like to take a table topics?
Sure.
But first, please introduce yourself to us.
Okay. I am a visiting Toastmaster. I am from the Goregaon Speakers Community Club. And I have attended one or two of your meetings earlier and I've thoroughly enjoyed. So that is why I'm here again.
That's great to hear and glad to have you with us. Let's have a table topic for you. Just a moment.
Sure.
All right. So we have already taken 3 topics. So we have 3 balls more to go: the volleyball, basketball, or tennis ball.
Volleyball, basketball, or baseball?
Yeah, sorry, basketball. I mean, yeah, these 3 are remaining.
Yeah. Okay.
Basketball.
So, okay, fine. I'm good with basketball.
Okay. Amit, monetization of sports is making it lose its original values. Monetization of sports is making it lose its original value. Amit.
Well, how many of you have heard this word called sportsman spirit? Now, when I also used to play sport, I don't remember a single time when, and I'm talking of cricket here, because a lot of us Indians play cricket and I used to play cricket. So anytime I would edge a ball, I would walk. I won't even wait for the umpire to raise his arm and to declare me out. Now, monetization of sport, we have seen basketball in particular, especially in the US and some of the Asian countries as well. It has become a very, very popular sport. But monetization, just like in the Indian Premier League, basketball has witnessed monetization long before we in India saw it. And it's all about hero worshipping, and also a lot of emphasis is laid on the money aspect rather than the sportsman spirit aspect, which is, or rather winning rather than sportsman spirit. I don't remember, we know Michael Jordan, we know Michael Johnson, who have really scored a lot of points, but do we know any basketball player who has actually been fair and really demonstrated sportsman spirit, and that particular person has been made famous? Not really. That is what even we also follow in our corporate world, where it's the wealthy and the well-to-do who we remember, but people who actually do good deeds, they are the ones who fall behind and are not really remembered that well. So yes, monetization is important, but I think we have taken it too far, whether it is sport or whether it is our professional and personal life. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Amit. And we are an advanced club, so here we take evaluations for the table topics as well. So I will choose Girija to evaluate your table topic speech. Girija.
I was not paying attention because I'm the Toastmaster of the day. I was just
Then the
looking
only
at this.
person, okay, no worries, no worries. We
Yes.
understand. Phalgunan, did you pay attention to Amit's speech?
Yes. So
Perfect.
for Arvind, sorry, Amit, so very well crafted speech, and speaking about Michael Jordan, and I think you also spoke about Michael Johnson. It's Magic Johnson. So that's one correction I would want to make. And somewhere you got stuck is around that basketball is all about only players and they don't do good things. For example, I know Michael Jordan, for example, plays for charity. Even after his professional life, he plays and just makes an appearance and generates a punch which he donates to the society. So the factual aspects needs to be noted and told about correctly. Fabulous. It's a great aspect, and also we can talk about if the knowledge is about there about what's happening at grassroots level in India around basketball. Those are the few. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Phalgunan. Yes, monetization has definitely made sports questionable at times, but yes, it is very important that we don't don't lose the original value that goes behind the sports, any sport. And yes, in India also, for example, in cricket, we have many cases where talented players will not go into will go to playing higher leagues because simply they cannot afford there to go there. Yes, so we will now have, I think it's enough for today because anyways, we have only 5 people and we will now move on to the next section. But there was one more topic that I would like to talk about is that I will just read out the topic. It's called sportsmanship and its values applied in real life. So a sports person, and when you have any sport, we expect any sports person to have a certain ethics, certain way of behavior that they do, and this can be easily applied to our daily lives. And I'm sure One of you have spoken very nicely, given the chance to speak on this. That's it from my side as a table topic master. I give my stage back to Girija.
Thank you. Thank you, Kunal, for taking the round through very beautifully, and all the speakers for contributing so well. And my apologies to Amit for not paying enough attention so as to evaluate and do complete justice. Now, we complete the table topic master round, and now we move on to the next round, that is the prepared speech round. I would like to just continue the theme before we move on to that. The University of Illinois Half Gymnasium used to draw sellout crowds to the event, which started in the year 1908, and it grew over the ensuing decades. Then Henry Porter, the Illinois High School Association Executive Secretary, he wrote an audacious essay titled March Madness in the Illinois Interscholastic Journal in 1939 to commemorate the tournament. That was considered a very hallmark article. Then, inspired by the article, then outlets embraced the term, the March Madness. And the tournament continued to thrive in the 1940s and 50s. And in 1973 only, the term officially was declared March Madness to the program. And there was also merchandise that started. Like just now we were talking about monetization. So several merchandise started coming out in the market after that. Now with that, we will move over to the prepared speech section. We have the first speaker, Phalgunan Kumaran, who is doing his path effective coaching. I call upon the language evaluator, Singh, to discuss the other parts. He has already shared the word of the day. I request him to first share his role, and then I hand over to lead coach Seetharaman to introduce his team. Singh, please.
Sure, thank you. So as a language evaluator or grammarian, my role is to take care for any good usage or any word which we could improve. I will also take care from the punctuation point of view, pronunciation and grammar as well. Best of definitely my capability. Word of the day is audacious, which I have shared in that group. Let me share the meaning. Meaning is willing to take risk or doing something shocking. Today, example, today we have audacious plans for our meeting. Today we are having audition performance by so many role players. Anyone want to try now?
Already tried. I said,
yes, you tried it. Okay.
Yes.
With this, let me give the control back to you and thank you. Please show thumbs up.
Thank you, Toastmaster Singh, for that beautiful word and for explaining your role very nicely. Now, I hand over the podium to lead coach Seetharaman to introduce his team and whatever the performance is expected from the team. Over to you, Toastmaster Seetharaman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Girija. Our target speaker, Toastmaster Phalgunan, is today attempting his level 2 project 1 as part of effective coaching pathway. Today, I thought I would be assisted by my team, Akshay. I don't see him here, so I believe I would be doing both the content and delivery myself. So definitely would be going ahead and doing that. In terms of the speech, the purpose of the speech of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of the speech is also for the member.
Kunal will be doing the content and delivery. You are the leadership coach. If you look at the plans, right?
Agenda did not mention it, but nevertheless, that will be very nice. So let me have Kunal to help me with both content and delivery. Thank you so much. Coming back to the purpose, just to reiterate it further, the purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. It's also for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. The speech could be humorous, informational. We expect it to be delivered as a well-organized speech, covering as many aspects of the leadership styles. Timer, please note, the speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to our target speaker today, Toastmaster Phalgunan. Back to you, Toastmaster Girija.
Thank you, Toastmaster Seetharaman. You were right. As far as the first speech is concerned, you will be the doubling up as the content evaluator as well as the delivery evaluator and the lead coach. And then for the second speech, which will be delivered by me, which is an evaluation, Kunal will be helping you with the content and the delivery part. I hope I made myself clear. The first speech for Phalgunan, you will be doing the entire thing. And I am also an evaluator because that is my speech, right? So I'm announcing the first speaker, Phalgunan Kumaran, lead from behind. Lead from behind, Phalgunan Kumaran. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Life is a game. Whether it's basketball or football, you have to play that game to our fullest potential and win that game. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, are you all ready to play the game of life? My first love was at the age of 6, when I discovered this beautiful ball which I could kick day in, day out. My favorite position, which I used to play for many years, and which led me to become a state level player, was left out position. Now, this left out doesn't mean that I was out sitting on the bench and not playing the game. In football, the left out position is also called the left forward, which is a position from where the player has the opportunity to score goals. Now, here is a choice with every footballer. He or she can just be a player or be a leader. When I play professional football for many years, I've kept my position as the left forward and led from the front by scoring goals and making my team win. But is that the only option? Last month, in our office, we had an inter-department football tournament. And here is where my leadership hat was on. I was thinking, do I again play the same left-out position, score goals, and make the other amateurs feel incapable? And here was a choice with me, which I said, let me lead from behind, play the defender position, which is to help the players and pass the ball forward, the midfielders or forwards. And there I played that goal and enabled others to score goals. And finally, our department won the match. And the feeling for the players who hadn't scored that goal at all in their life, seeing that sense of happiness and accomplishment, made me feel a great aspect as a leader. Now here is their 3 choices that each player has with us when they are on the football field. One is to pass the ball to the team member. Second, to dribble the ball, cut the ball, and either pass or score a goal. And the third option is to directly take a shot on the goal. In life, there are situations where as a leader, you may feel, let me shine, let me be ahead, let me show my audacious self. But Here is also a choice where you can delegate. You can allow your team members to show their potential and let them win the game. That is where you pass the ball and let them lead. The second option is when you dribble. So when do you dribble? So here is a situation where you see that your team member is not able to accomplish the task. And there, you as a leader has to step in, dribble the ball, and maybe complete the task on your own or take it nearer, help the team member, and then pass the ball for that team member to complete and score. The third situation, take a direct shot on the goal. There may also be situations where things have to be completed swiftly. And you, as a leader, if there is a skill, don't look at others. Go ahead, complete the task, and then let your team members observe you, how you have accomplished and done the task. There, you lead by example. Now, in life or the game of football, there is a terminology called GOAT, greatest of all times. And the world knows Pele, Maradona, and now Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. The FIFA World Cup 2023, the finals between Argentina and France. Argentina were 2 goals up, and there France strikes back, and the morale of the whole team was down. Finally, Argentina won the match and lifted the coveted title. But there is a story behind it. When everybody went down, the Messi, the captain, said, "What do you expect? It's the finals. Everyone wants to win. This is a competitive match. They will score. But are you going to outpace the opponent? Are you going to be positive and keep moving forward?" And that's what lifted the team. And they continued on their journey, which led to the winning match. A great example of leading from behind and guiding and motivating the team. I see by all of that experiences that I had is more for democratic style that I follow in my life. As leaders, what is the style that we follow? My belief is we need to flex our style based on the situations. Communicate your thoughts and be ethical as a leader. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Phalgunan Kumaran. Yes. Now, the second speaker is I myself. So I'm presenting the speech. It is an evaluation. I will request Kunal to read out the speech objectives, my project objectives.
You want to call the timer first for the time?
Yes. Yes, sure. Thank you. Thank you for reminding. Yes.
Yes, the timing is 7 minutes and 16 seconds, Phalgunan, for your speech. You are in time, don't worry. Yes.
Yes.
And yes, the purpose of Girija's project is to provide an evaluation. Its project is evaluation and feedback, where she will she has to evaluate one person, and I will be taking note of her evaluation style, and I will be giving her feedback to her on this later.
And my timing will be 2 to 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, 2 to 3 minutes.
Thank you. Perfect. So here is Girija Deshpande presenting evaluation Life is a Game on Life is a Game, Evaluation, Girija Deshpande. Lead from Behind and Life is a Game. Beautifully connected the theme. He wanted to, Phalgunan Kumaran wanted to connect with the audience, and he connected with the theme also at the same time. How did he connect with the audience? By showing an example, which is live in front of you. He showed the ball, there was a prop, and then he talked about how you can be left out, and then he connected to us with a subtle humor. There was this pun which he used, and then he said, no, in football it is not left out, you're left forward. You are taking actually a leadership role. So that drew attention. Right in the beginning, he did that. He excelled at beautifully matching the theme of the day with the topic that he wanted to convey to us, the leadership style that he wanted to convey to us, that is a democratic leadership style. And throughout, he continued with the theme, with the analogy of the game. That was very beautiful. He could have excelled at what? Probably two things. One is he was standing and speaking. If the camera was at an angle where we could see up to his waist, we could also have seen his hand movements, the hand gestures. When he raised the ball, it was very clear. At other times, it looked like there was no hand gesture at all. So probably that is one thing that you will have to look at, because especially when we are talking about a game, then it becomes very essential that you use your hands and show more activeness. And another thing is the pacing. Voice modulation was perfect, but everything was going at the same pace. So there are times like, do I gain the same in the left out position? No, let me lead and then go slowly. So there are times when you could be faster, and then there are times when you could be slower. Like, for example, you asked 2-3 questions in a row that, would I be supporting the team or would I be taking advantage of the position and then leading myself? So probably in those circumstances, 1 or 2 questions could be popping up immediately one after the other, and then a pause, making us think, and then continue. That would add more of vocal variety, even though there was voice modulation. So pacing is an important element. You could probably consider that. To challenge yourself, when you spoke about the theme, you spoke about 3 beautiful points, the 3 different ways in which somebody can contribute to the team as a leader. So you take a shot at the goal, you treble the ball, and you pass the ball to the team. And you beautifully explained what are the various circumstances in which you could do. Probably you could narrate it in the normal circumstance also, like in a team. Like in a sports, you will take a shot at the goal, audacious shot, and when you are confident about your abilities. And then when you are able to, sometimes you will take your time, you will bide your time, and you will treble the ball. And then the next is when you decide who can do the role, and then you give them that you pass on the ball to them, pass on the baton to them. So probably this could have been narrated with a real life example of a leadership role. And over to you. Thank you so much. Now, as the Toastmaster of the day, for a minute I was stunned. Okay, I've completed. I will continue with the theme now before we go on to the evaluation section. So in sports, the team Cinderella story is there, especially in all these sports, where a character who goes all the way to the top when the character has been really overlooked. When an underdog performs, that is called as a Cinderella story. So what are the traits that make a Cinderella team win? So just now we saw Phalgunan Kumaran discussing it, and we can just briefly look at them before we move on to the evaluation section. Cinderella stories are the mindset that they will battle till the end. They are never going to hang the boots down. They're not deterred by the ranking of accomplishments of their opponents. They just go on. Then the teams that become Cinderella teams do not see themselves as Cinderella teams. They don't look at themselves as we have a slim chance of winning. No, they never think like that. They have supreme, stable confidence in their abilities and don't look at themselves as underdogs. They believe that they have the same chance as their opponents, even if the earlier experience proved otherwise. The third quality is they are united and they have a common goal. Together, the team members pull in the same direction with one objective. And they trust one another and hold on to each other to a high standard. They're hungry to achieve success and they're not afraid to put in the work. And then the next thing, the fourth quality is they believe that anything is possible and they will compete until the final whistle. They'll give it their best. So these are the qualities of Cinderella teams. And I move on to the lead coach, Seetharaman, to take the evaluation session ahead. Over to you.
Okay. If I may interject, please. Phalgunan, you will be taking care of the time, right? From now?
Yes, I will.
Yeah. Okay. So, Girija, you spoke more than your time limit. You spoke for 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So, anyways, I could. Yeah. And just to be clear, Seetha, are you clear about the coaching? I think he's a bit confused. Can we please clear it first and then we can hand over it to Arvind?
Yeah, I'm the lead coach for the first speaker. I'll cover
Yes.
both content and delivery. And that's pretty much what I understand.
Yes, that's and for Girija's speech, I will be handling everything. Yeah, so
you will be completely taking over. And
Yeah.
I think the handover need to go to our general evaluator first, who in turn will call the lead coach. So over to the general evaluator.
Thank you. I think it's an audacious meeting. Things are going awry. It's being handed over elsewhere. Never mind. We learn as we go along. As the general evaluator, I would look at the meeting and suggest improvements, if any. We will begin with the evaluation of the prepared speeches, and I think the timing, the total timing, what would the total time be for the evaluation? Are we having 2 to 3 minutes for total, or 2 minutes for each section, or just have 3 minutes for all together? Or 2 to 3 minutes,
Yeah,
2 to 3 minutes for everything altogether. Yeah. All right. So let's call the lead coach to give the evaluation for the speech that was delivered by Phalgunan. Seetha, please, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator Arvind. So our target speaker today, Toastmaster Phalgunan, was delivering his speech, in which essentially the purpose of the speech, when I read it out, was to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. So it need not be just one style. Multiple styles is also definitely welcome. And that's something which I really liked, the way that our target speaker today connected a game, football, lead from behind, and subtly helped us understand his various leadership styles. I'll come to the key part. What were they? Were they spelt out? No. But let me come to the aspects which I really liked about the speech. He started off with an example around football. The left out position, frankly, I was wondering, is there such a position? But I really learned that there is this position, left out position in football. Just a second. Yeah. And how important as a left forward is in the game, and how that left forward actually transitions, and the element of leadership was very nicely brought in by the speaker. Kudos to you, Toastmaster Phalgunan, for that. You also brought in a personal anecdote in terms of an event in your organization and how you really looked at being playing the game, and how you did not be the left forward but be a defender, and that's exact sort of a transition that you really brought in your leadership style through the game. That was something quite relevant to the overall theme of the speech. You had good transitions. I really liked the transition that came in from when you narrated about the game and then went on to transition to the 3 choices. That's the point that I wanted to really highlight. The 3 choices, to me, the way that I, as sitting in the audience, evaluating your speech, passing the ball, dribbling, a direct shot, was something that I really liked. And this could have been directly mapped to the possible leadership styles. This could be democratic, or I don't know, maybe there are some other leadership styles, my transformational leadership style that I could think of. A charismatic leader is something that I could think of. There is no need to mention it, I understand, but some sort of a mapping would have really helped all of us to know who, Toastmaster Phalgunan had demonstrated these sort of leadership styles. The other aspect which the other speaker really highlighted with respect to the tone of your speech, and this is where I'm getting into the delivery. Overall, excellent in terms of the level of pauses that needed, but somewhere, even when you narrated the FIFA finals, I would have expected you to kind of hype up the tone, the variety. And then there was this goal. What did Lionel Messi say? That sort of a pumped up element was something that I had expected. We are talking about what really happened. I frankly forgot who was actually doing the lead. And this would have helped me to really reconnect and what sort of a role Messi played in terms of highlighting the leadership quality and linking it back to what your leadership style is. That part was largely missing. I personally also felt the greatest of all time aspect that you brought in was so nice. We all can become goats if we really inculcate some of these leadership traits that each of us need to follow. You did have a message towards the end for all of us. The element of goat could have also brought in, it would have motivated me. Wow, I need to really look at this, when I practice or walk the talk on leadership. That linkage would have also taken your speech to the next levels. Overall, it was an excellent speech. You did meet the objective of the project, Toastmaster Phalgunan. I thoroughly enjoyed. With these suggestions that I had provided, I'm sure you could take this to greatest levels. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Arvind.
Thank you, Sita. And Phalgunan, you have 30 seconds for your rebuttal.
Thanks for all the valuable suggestions. I appreciate it. And thanks, I'll incorporate it.
Thank you. And now may I invite Kunal to deliver his evaluation of the speech that is delivered by Girija.
Thank you. Timer, just a moment before I begin. I feel 1 to 2 minutes might be enough time for my evaluation of an evaluation. So just, is that okay, General Evaluator?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure if I can speak for 2-3 minutes. Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Girija, so your project was feedback and evaluation, which requires you to evaluate and deliver constructive feedbacks. That's the wordings of Toastmasters manual that gives us. So you followed the general CRC method, that is the commendation, recommendation, and commendation method, where we motivate the speaker, but we also try to sandwich in some factors that might help him develop himself as a speaker. So you started with the good examples that you felt were audience connecting and that grasped the audience of the speaker by pointing out particular examples, and that's a good way to start any evaluation. And then you went on to the recommendation part, where I feel that looking from an outside perspective of an evaluation, as an evaluator, maybe you should try, not because you pointed out the exact parts. For example, you pointed out the part where Phalgunan spoke about his left out position and the analogy that he made. But no doubt that you gave him nice recommendation about it. But I would also say that some other examples from your side, how to exactly fabricate fabricate the sentences that you might want, that the speaker could have said it differently would have been better. Maybe if something that you might feel would have been better in speaker's delivery, that may be an extra point that you can add as an evaluator. You also spoke about his voice modulation. Now, as an evaluator, you can give him exact corrections that you might feel is a better way to give. For example, you told about his spacing that was not proper at some parts, and maybe he didn't take any pause. So maybe you can incorporate this into your evaluation as well, so that he can understand better how to into your speech as an evaluator, that so that he can understand what you are trying to say. And at the end, of course, you made a nice summary of your evaluation and gave it and delivered it. So overall, it was definitely a good evaluation. And yeah, that's it from my side regarding this. Yeah.
Thank you, Kunal. And Girija, you have 30 seconds to speak.
Thank you. I appreciate the inputs given to me by Kunal, and definitely I will look into them and learn from it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think we're all within the time limit for the evaluation. Having heard the evaluators, I would now like to invite the language evaluator to present his report for the meeting.
Thank you. Please allow me to share my screen. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. So today, word of the day word of the day was used by Toastmaster Girija and Toastmaster Phalgunan. Very well done. You have added one more word in your dictionary. Let me go add some good usage of the English. Plummet, to fall suddenly and quickly from a high level or position. And edge the ball means touch the ball normally in the cricket. Factual aspect, based on fact, a factual statement. Fabulous, very good, excellent. Grassroots level, from basic or fundamental level. Dribble, a small trickling stream or a drop or in a different manner to decrease or deteriorate with a small amount. Outpace, go rise or improve faster. Excel, to be very good at doing something. Underdog, a person, team, etc. who is weaker than others. Mapping of leadership style, providing more information but in a very well connected manner. Inculcate, to make somebody learn or remember ideas. Habit. Grasp attention, to cause one to become interested in something. Fabricate means building something. Now few points for the improvement. What are leadership skill? It could be what are leadership skills? Because it's most rarely the plural. We should take the ownership. Today, the most famous word is the accountability. We should take the accountability of our efforts by showing example, by sharing example. So we are not showing anything here, we are sharing. There was no hand gesture. There were no hand gesture. So plural I have considered. Before we go to the evaluation session, what I learned before we move to the evaluation session or the next topic. Greatest level is impossible to attain by anyone. So next level or to improve. Provide a good summary. Here we want to say we need a better conclusion of the complete scenario. Few things, just a grammar tip of the word. We could try different synonymous or the better word we could try to find and then use and remove our daily usage words from the speeches and our languages. That might could help us to improve our grammar or our language. With this, thank you very much. And that I did best of my capability. If I'm wrong somewhere, please inform me. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Jai. Wonderful presentation, I should say, as a grammarian. I don't know, how did you get, is that some forewarning that you know that these people are going to use these words and you brought in such a wonderful thing? Or I think I should learn from you how, I like reverse mentoring. So I think I should learn from you how you did up all those things and put it up on a screen. Great. Now coming to you. All right. So the meeting started, general meeting started at 7:15. We did have initial problems. People were not available. Yeah, we are facing problems and yes, there are role takers. There have been requests going out, and yes, I think, is it because of the month of April or what? Holidays and heat and stuff like that. we're finding it difficult to get our role players to conduct the meetings. But nevertheless, there could be various reasons that everybody has. But I do hope it was great to have at least 6 or 7 people join in and conduct the meeting, and it's gone pretty well, I must say. There's nothing much that I could speak on because I think we have followed by and large, we've followed the stating the mission of the club, etc., which was done correct. Okay. And a wonderful theme that Girija thought about, March Madness, which I really did not know what it was all about. I was wondering, we're in April, and what was she talking about March? We've already marched away from March and into April. What is she going to talk about? So, well, this was some revelation that I got, that it's something to do with basketball. And I think you're in Illinois, and I think you're soaking the whole thing there for these couple of months. You've got everything so well organized, and you're speaking on it so well. Great job as Toastmaster of the Day. And yes, you have put on so many hats today: the Sergeant at Arms, the Presiding Officer, the Toastmaster of the Day, and a speaker as well. Great job, Girija. All right, now the role players. Well, we all doubled up. Great, Kunal, Table Topic Master. Great thing that you brought in. And I wouldn't say, yes, it was all balls, but wonderful that you brought in all those balls so that we could speak on it. And I must say, the lead coach and all the evaluators did a wonderful job. Jai, great job, as I've already said. 2 things we must remember. When we talk about dribble in football, it isn't stream or drop, but it's bouncing the ball. Bouncing the ball is dribble. You bounce the ball and then you take it away. So you dodge the person by dribbling the ball. So you can either dribble with your foot, or you can dribble with your hand, which is part of the theme for today. So in that aspect, dribble has a different meaning. But what you have got is the actual literal meaning of, in the English language, of a stream, which it trickles down. So that's okay. But in the context of the meeting and the way it was said, that is what the meaning is. And it's Gesture is spelled with G but pronounced with J. So it's gestures. It's not gestures, it is gestures. Just gestures. All right. So those are only those 2 things that I found that we could improve on. But by and large, I think it was a very entertaining meeting, even though we had just the 6 or 7 of us in it. Thank you, and over to you, Girija.
Thank you so much for that elaborate and very crisp and precise feedback that we can expect only from you, Arvind. Thanks a lot for being our mentor and for being our general evaluator, for the time that you give for us. And yes, Jay did something very superb. I really appreciate that. Now, moving on with the theme. Throughout this March Madness history, several teams have shocked millions of fans by coming out on top of the game, which they were not expected to win at all. Some of the best Cinderella teams in both men's and women's basketball were that Villanova Wildcats, then Louisiana State University, Davidson team, Virginia Commonwealth University, Loyola Chicago University, Chicago team. These were actually, even Central Michigan team, these were the teams that were from the men's, and from the women's squad, there was Arkansas Razorbacks, Gonzaga, Central Michigan, and Buffalo. These were the teams that emerged as Cinderella teams. So when we talk about Cinderella teams, what is it that makes it a Cinderella team? A Cinderella team becomes eventually an elite team. And I thought we have also taken up the name elite. And so we must look into this. A team that puts the highest priority on the work of the team is called as an elite team. Generally, people ask, why do you call yourself elite? Elite are people who are upper class. But then I have to keep on telling them, no, it has a different meaning. So this means that the team members do not prioritize their own items as more important than the team's items on the agenda. Team members articulate the unifying goal or vision to which they are all committed together. So developing an elite team mindset requires several steps, and we hope that we all can put it together as a team of Toastmasters Club, as all elite advanced Toastmasters. We have to work diligently during practice, which I see many of the speakers doing when they present the speech. Develop trust among teammates, which we have tremendously. So that is why we are able to pass the baton and give the assignments to different roles, even though we know that there could be visitors. Build team cohesion and put team first over individual goals and challenge each other in practice. These three things we'll have to work on a little more. We are having team cohesion, but at the same time, there are possibilities of developing more of ownership, or like he said, accountability, that I have taken it up, somehow I need to do it. So if we can bring in that, we will be like no other. The more our team works together to develop a positive team mentality, the greater the chance for team success, no matter what is the opposing team. That is what is the morale or the motto of the elite team. And I'm very sure that as an advanced club, as an all elite advanced club, we will march towards that. So with this, I adjourn the meeting, and we can have our feedback and discussions later after this. Thank you so much.
Stop the recording.
Yes, I'll do that.
Thank you. Just I